I'm Paulino B. Michael, and welcome to the Flat Out Truth. Yes, we are going crazy, and this is for entertainment purposes only, and some satire. So, we are streaming live from our platform, theflatouttruth.com, and we are on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and our platform. So that's 4. So, welcome everybody. And this is new for us. This is our first time doing all 4. So let's see how this all works out. My wife, my producer, my IT guru, and she's very amazing. She's getting this all worked out and put together so it looks nice and sounds good for everyone. So this is what we're trying to do so we can keep doing this on a regular basis. And this is something that we're just going to keep building on over and over again. May even add another one. So without any more further ado, here's my lovely wife, Chelsey B. Michael.
Hello, I'm his lovely wife, Chelsey B. Michael. I will be the one clicking all the buttons, so bear with me. But that's okay. That's your job to talk, so perfect.
Yeah, you do a good job at talking too.
I do all right.
This is very cool. So like right now, we are streaming on all 4 right now.
That is correct. We are, we've got it going live on TikTok. So we got YouTube going. We've got Facebook going, we've got TikTok going, we've got ours going.
Nice.
And
Okay, now this yeah. So what I want to find out is anybody out there. We need somebody else to just to let us know how it's looking, how it's sounding, if everything's going fine. Like I said, we're still gonna have to work out any kind of kinks. Even when you have everything running smooth on a regular basis, it'll still kink up sometimes. But we're just gonna let it flow, right?
That's right.
That's what we do here at the Flat Out Truth. I wonder who else is on. Oh, here comes somebody else jumping on our platform. So we'll see how it goes in and out. And this is all being recorded now. Just remember, we'll be doing 30 minutes here on all 4 platforms. And then at the 35-minute mark or so, we will be leaving TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook and just streaming mainly or only on our platform for the next hour plus. So if you guys want to get the full show, you have to come to the platform. We are free to speak there, and such. It makes it easier. We don't have to watch what we say and things like that to not offend people. So, or the platforms, and we respect them. Like I'm not mad at them. That's their rules. It's their platforms, and we have ours and ours. And we get to do what we want on our platform, just like they do theirs, right?
That's right.
Okay. So like what we do usually at the first Tuesday of the month, we start out our theme of the month. We have a theme, and my wife Chelsey writes these beautiful articles usually, and it's broke down, not usually, always, and then they're broken down, and we'll go over each one. I don't know if we can get through them all in 35 plus minutes, but we will see. And if not, jump on over, and like I said, you can watch the rest on our platform, theflatouttruth.com. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. What is the theme this month?
The theme this month.
She's got it.
I know. I got
Yeah.
one too many. I gotta click buttons. All right.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. So let's make sure. I have to click the buttons and then make sure it shows up for everybody.
Yeah. So she makes it so we can share what we're showing, so she can read it and you guys can see and follow along. You guys could always just look at her face if we wanted it to, but I think it's better if you see kind of how our platform works. Like this is the curiosity community part. This is our general chat, and you can like articles are posted in here and such. Well, this is what she posted for the article of the beginning of the month. So here we go.
Thought it was apt. So our June monthly theme is the cost of truth. So what is the cost of truth? Many would say that the truth is actually free, but is it? For many, the truth costs family, friends, relationships, livelihoods, jobs, money, and the list can go on simply for speaking the truth. So the first one we'll talk about is the personal cost. So this is the most common, obviously. Everyone's spoken the truth. We try to talk to family, to friends, but at some point you become the black sheep. So people kind of see you as crazy or strange. Speaking the truth requires a lot of vulnerability, and you only feel that you can do that with family and friends, that they should accept it, but a lot of times we get disappointed. So they pull away slowly. They don't want to hurt your feelings, but they don't really want to hang around you anymore. And so those connections kind of slowly fade away.
Yeah, so everybody knows that's anybody that's been seeking any truth in any topic, you tend to start to see if it goes against the norm or what the accepted, um, I guess, outcome of that topic, like whatever everybody agrees on or what they heard on the news or whatnot. It doesn't matter, family, friends, whatever they come to, their, what would you say, the masses believe, regardless of what the truth is. So when you start digging into any truth, it starts to like, you start to see people pull away, like Chelsey said. It is, you walk alone, the more truth you get. And it's sad because you would think those are the ones that stick by you, but they'll start to see you as crazy or a troublemaker, or they don't want to talk about it, because our lives are hard. I'm not saying they're not. In this world that we live in, everybody has to go make an income, have to raise themselves and their families and pay bills and things like that. So sometimes that's the only time they have is just to like be more robotic and just go to work, right? Then you just go paycheck to paycheck if you must. And you don't have a chance to really dig into stuff, or you don't want to use that free time and thinking of something so heavy like the truth, right? So,
Yep.
and many subjects, and some of them can be very sensitive topics. You know, everybody has their belief and their opinion, and then there's always the flat out truth, what that may be, based on fact. So it's always one of those things where you kind of try to juggle. How far are you willing to push? The more you push, the more isolated you get. And like, so like if you had 10 topics, if you're doing all 10 topics, you're probably are walking alone. It's sad, but true.
Yep. I think, and especially for when you first find out, I don't know if you want to call it your first truth, your awakening moment. Everybody has it, and they're like, "Holy cow!" Whatever your moment may be, whether it's political, where it is something personal, and you jump on, you're like, "I got to share this with people," and they immediately, you're like, "You have to hear this," and you go and you try to tell everybody, and they're just like,
Yeah, because
sure.
because not everybody wants to know, right?
Yeah, they say
Yeah.
they want to know the truth, right?
Yeah.
But is that actually the truth?
Yeah, I mean, it comes like that with anything. Somebody asks, hey, if they have their, like, this dress that they love or this suit or coat, whatever, do I look good in it?
Yeah.
And they want you to say yes, obviously, even if it's not the truth. They really do want you to say that.
Yeah.
But I would want you to say, no, it looks horrible.
Yes.
You know, because then like, they're saving me. Sometimes, you know, that truth will save you from embarrassment or like, why'd you let me out? Because if they start hearing it anyway, that's what they're going to say. Why'd you let me out like that? How could you know, why didn't you tell me it looked bad?
Right.
So, but we're talking more on serious topics too. Like it escalates, right? The more truth that you get into,
That's
it
right.
starts to go deeper, you know, into subjects that are more sensitive.
Yep.
It could be government, politics, religion, society. Let's face it, when it comes to men and women, both genders sometimes don't want to hear the truth about their gender in general. They would rather go and believe what the masses say is the truth and not go by what they really believe. Most people talk the truth in their house behind closed doors,
Yeah.
but you can't say it out in public. Like you said,
It's
it could affect careers and even connections with your neighbor, your boss, your friends, your family.
Yep. Which leads into
Sometimes
our next one. Yeah. Which goes into like our next one is the social cost. So our estimate, we give it like 1%. I'd say like 1% of the population considers themselves true truth seekers. And this is something, like you said, truth in all things. Like even if you don't like what the answer is, you're going to go seek it out. You're going to get both sides of the story. You want to know what the truth really is. But we'll be generous and we'll say 10%. About 10%. And everyone else is, they're in their own echo chamber, right? Everybody likes to talk about that, or their own bubble. And it's not a bad thing. People feel safe. They want that community. They want to feel like they belong. But the more you speak that truth, the smaller and smaller that circle draws in. The popular movie The Matrix, if you have seen it, they liken it to Agent Smith when you're speaking to someone. And so those pop up everywhere. And so you start catering the knowledge that you know and that you share down, and you hide it from people because you don't know who's going to turn. And so as truth seekers, we have to be careful with each veil that we slowly and carefully talk to people so we don't trigger that transformation. But that threat is always there, and that cognitive dissonance will always stay there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for people to realize that they've been lied to and that they believed it. So it's easier to tell them a new lie than it is to show them that they've been lied to. And so there is that walking the line. How much do you push? I have the app to be able to talk to people about many things and go bring it in through a different, I guess, when they're not looking, I give them some truth. And that's what I try to do here at the Flat Out Truth. And we are truth in all things in every topic. We try to discuss every topic, dig down deep to the root of every topic, like law, it doesn't matter, politics, society, everything. I mean, I feel better that I am searching the truth in all things. And Chelsey always wanted to be a truth seeker, wanted to have somebody that had that belief, and she got me.
I know. I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, be careful what you pray for. Next thing you know, you have a podcast and a platform. Many of you guys, if you guys jump on our platform, it's unbelievable. This was something that we didn't know we were going to do starting last year. It just kind of fell into our hands on how to do it. We were just going to originally do just a podcast. And so we were blessed to have the rest of this out.
Yeah, and so just so everybody can know, like he was talking about all of our topics. So these are just the general things that we talk about now on our platform, which is obviously the news, society, as you mentioned. We even
You can bring it up. Do you guys want to see what it looks like on our platform?
Yeah, I can show you guys.
So, like, this is how it's set up. So it's kind of like a Facebook or a Discord, if you guys are familiar with those. It's very interactive with our members, and they can move in and out. They can follow each other. They can hashtag. They can write articles in each one of these topics. So you see the topics here on the left side.
Yep, over here.
If you go to the very top, it shows you, like you got curiosity, like I said, is the general. Then there's an origin story, which talks about where I came from my beginnings, up to the part where I meet Chelsey, and then up to the next part where we start this,
Yeah.
the Flat Out Truth. Now, then we have the curiosity, like I did say, is general. And then you have a feel good. We have a feel good spot called the homebody. So this is just stuff to make people feel good.
Yep.
So it's not serious. We have enough things going on with truth.
You like fishing?
Like April caught a fish and she put that on there. It's massive. Actually, it's not, but it was still cute. So she put that on there and it made me chuckle. It just made me think about my grandpa when I went fishing. So it was good times. And then we have a spot for the music that's going to be coming up, all original music from the Flat Out Truth, and all genres.
Yep.
So don't put me in a box.
Yeah.
On the last box, you'll see.
That is, yeah, it's still. I mean, I've been with you for 9, 10 years. Well, together 10 years, married for 9, and I'm still surprised.
Yeah, I am a jack of all trades, and I like to seek out truth in everything, and I like to put it into action. That's what I do.
Yep.
I talk about everything. I love it, and it can be just even football, but that goes down another rabbit hole. So we'll leave that one there. So, but we have audiobooks that Chelsea's going to be reading. Audiobooks, or making her own audiobooks. I like to hear her read, and she has a great voice for reading, and she does it so smoothly. So some of the books that I want her to read, I'll just give them to her. She's going to be recording those, and those will be on here.
Yep. On
our platform. And then, like she said, we have news for topics. We have news, we have society, we just added a DIY because we're going to be doing hydroponics. That's like all kinds of things about how to grow food and things like that.
Yeah, this will include some of the homesteading stuff.
Yes, the homesteading, how to wire, how to plumb, all that type of stuff. And then we get into financials. Like this is another one we just added literally today. And then the other one we added yesterday. Yep. So I still got to make I got to make all the pieces. I do all the artwork here. And so we're adding that because I want to do financial literacy and teach people how credit works, business credit, things like that. And then we got into food. Now, food is like funny because it can be good food that's good for you or stuff that just tastes really good. Maybe not good for you.
We have an egg pudding we have to make.
And we do have an egg pudding, which is supposed to be good for you. So we'll do that. And we got health, government, science. And each one has its own little banner. Each one has its own talking section, so a chat. You can chat about science in this one. So you can have discussions. You can post your own articles and all this type of stuff in here. So, and it is a comic book theme because that's what I used to do. I used to do a lot of artwork, but my favorite is graphic novels and comic books. So we went with that theme, and I'm really appreciate my wife saying, "Hey, we should just do that." And so it's been fun. And so I still have a lot of artwork to do. And so each one is set up about the same when it comes to these topics. Like we have cosmology, we have history, we have the biblical text, we have conspiracy even. And then we even have one called expressions. Expressions is like if you write and do your own music, put it in there. You do your own paintings, put it in there. Do you knit, put it in there. Anything like that that you create, you put it in expressions. And people like to see that. You get to know each other. And as I said, you can follow each other. You can hashtag each article if you want that you create so you can find it. So like if I hashtag science, everything that's got hashtag science will come up. And so that's how we had this built so it's easy to navigate and to find things. So she's clicking away, so somebody must be asking her a question.
I got to keep up with the chat.
Yeah, she's doing the chats too. We're gonna have to be getting some mods at some point, so we'll see who wants to volunteer.
So I'm like, okay, I have to keep posting to people like, oh hey, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, send us and TikTok, send us gifts.
Yeah, that's right.
We're learning all the TikTok lingo.
Yeah, or you can donate at our coffee.
Yep.
/ right? Coffee.com / the flat out truth. And that is where our donation page is and such. And so if you guys like what we're doing and help fund this so that we can add more stuff. We want to be doing experiments and like I said, not only show you how to do hydroponics, but actually grow them. So all that stuff, it does cost money. So like these are all things that we can make into videos and they'll be on the platform. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
that is the goal.
That's our goal. And now we're going to get back to this month, I guess.
That's right. All right, so let's go into the next one, which is we're gonna skip professional political. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
The existential one. So this one is usually the hardest one for everybody because no one wants to stare in the mirror and see themselves for who they really are. And if you look too long, you start to see every flaw, the little things that you simply do not like. And today's society would have you add a filter so you can't see them, but they do still exist, and they come out when that pressure is on. And the reality is that others cannot see the filters that we have caked on our image, but they do judge us, and their scales are removed from their eyes, so they actually see us as we are.
Yeah, so like our society has made a filter for everything now, and clothing that fixes everything. So when you meet somebody, you're not always meeting who they really are. You have the person online that's using all that stuff plus filters, and makeup's amazing. I mean, that's crazy stuff. It's like magic. And you could meet that person online. You like that person online, but if you meet them in person, they're totally different. They're different on the way they talk a lot of times. Their confidence could be different because they're not running all the filters, right? So you're actually getting to know the true person. And like they used to have that show Catfish. It's kind of like everything is made to catfish everybody now on the internet. It just is. But when it comes to having a real relationship or connection with a friend, a new friend, or a new mate, somebody you're thinking about dating, right? You get to meet them in person, and what happens if they're not the same person that you've seen online? That can be very devastating for both sides, and it's not good. And people can have that confidence when they're online because they do have the filters, but they might not have that when they're like in person, right?
Right.
And so that becomes like the part where it can be devastating for these people. So be true to who you are. And this, you have to live in reality.
Yeah, I think it is really hard in society today because we are most places, like especially like in the U.S., it's like we're truly blessed to live in a country that it's hard to hit rock bottom sometimes. Oh, it's totally possible, but like a lot of times people have an out, or the government can save you, or you have somebody else that can save you, and to really look at yourself and know that you are not doing something that hurts other people, I think it's harder to see sometimes because the repercussions and really think ahead. Because everybody always abides by the golden rule, right? Do unto others what you do unto yourself. But I think when we act on others, we don't actually think about that anymore.
Yeah, but are you doing unto others with your filtered self or your real self? See,
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. And then people start to believe what the filters look like.
Yeah.
You know, you have all these likes or all this, like, I guess, status online, and then you start to believe that in reality, but those people don't know you, and if you act like that, they shrug you.
Yeah.
You know, either that or you act differently when you're out in public in reality.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be more true with each other so we can just like who you really are.
Yeah. Because, so, like you said, social media has reached so many people, and it's been amazing. Just like we're trying to reach all of these truth seekers, you know, around the world. But when you turn it into, right, the dark side of it, where you run into, oh, you're getting nothing but likes, you're getting nothing but messages from these people all over the world. It's like, you have to make sure that is a real person. It's not an AI bot. It's not somebody posing. It's not trying to somebody get behind you. And there's so many scams and things now. We'll talk about that actually later in the years, as all of the scams that you can get into now with technology, with the internet. And so we want to bring all those genuine people together. Yeah,
it's like nowadays too, they have, when it comes to electronics, they can fake every electronic now.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
The packaging, everything. We're gonna do a vid on that. We've bought actually products and have donated. People have donated products and things like that, so we can figure out, man, this thing was not a genuine one. And it can happen on the big A, right? Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes like is selling knockoffs, and I don't think they really even know it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Because you even, like, you were in the beginning days of eBay.
Yes.
And they went from, okay, this is small sellers and everybody's getting their piece. And now it's mostly these big companies, or even, like you said, these scam companies. It's like, oh, yeah, here's all of these knockoffs from, now, hypothetically, from China. But
yeah, you get the mic, right? And you think it's going to be a high-end mic. And you're, oh, such a great deal. But you find out every serial number is the exact same and all that, and you're like, well, it's not the right one.
Yeah.
But then you can see, sometimes the knockoffs are really just as good as the other one, or pretty close.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It just depends. You might get lucky.
They made it on a Wednesday.
They made it on a Wednesday, and maybe it had a little chip, and the main people are like, it doesn't pass our inspection, so they box it up and sell it as a knockoff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. But it goes all over, especially electronics. Well, clothing too, right? Handbags and all that type of stuff. I mean, people have seen those videos. I know I'm not the only one. We talked about, with the whole tariff thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
That, they're saying this or that. So we all know what's going on. I'm trying to keep it clean for right now, but
we can say there's a trade war.
Yeah, there is a trade war going on.
We'll see how it ends.
Or a conflict.
Yeah, conflict. That's true. It's a conflict.
It's a conflict. All right. So on to the next.
All right, I'll touch on this. I won't read this one, but we'll touch on it. The next one is like the professional, the political cost. This one I know a lot of people have felt in the last 4 years, especially 5 years ago, and the reason can vary. But we did run into, like, especially the U.S. had a lot of government mandates. And there were two factions saying, hey, you shouldn't be allowed to do this, and other ones should be allowed to do this. And a lot of people did lose their jobs because they would not abide by these mandates. Or some of them even quit. They're like, I can't do this. Like, personally, like, I know my company that I work for, they were not going to mandate anything. But then because of the government, because of the president, he's like, okay, no, you have to. And then like, well, we'll have to see what happens. And so I can't even count how many people, or I don't remember the number, how many people lost their jobs that way. And then I think everybody in the world understands the political loss is a lot of people say, oh, you're blue, you're red, you're this side, you're that side, you're liberal or conservative, and you aren't allowed to talk to each other at the Thanksgiving dinner table because then you'll start a fight amongst your family. So people do. They tend to stay away from those topics. But it is very, very important that we still talk about them, try to take them with an open mind, try to find some kind of common ground.
Yes. Yes. Everybody should want everybody to prosper. That's the whole thing. But, sometimes it takes working hard to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should work hard to get what they need. Everybody should participate, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things that we have going on here when it comes to the division of the country, is how you go about doing it. So there's opinion, right?
Yep.
And then there's fact.
Yeah.
And numbers don't lie, unless who's writing the numbers. See?
No fudging numbers.
That's right.
So, let's see. The last one, do you want to get into the biblical one as well?
Yeah, I guess we can get to the biblical one.
All right. For those of you that do follow the Bible, the last one would be the biblical cost. So, if you're into Christianity, if you do follow the Bible, you don't know what's going to happen. So, you could end up being Job, where you are blessed, you suffer, and then you're blessed again. Or you could be a Stephen, where you're going to live your life for that cause, and then you'd end up being a martyr. And no one knows, because we don't know what our end is going to be. We don't know what our purpose is going to be for most people. For some, maybe it is a higher goal. For others, it's just to pass it on to your kids. But either way, you never know. And the cost of speaking that truth can land you into some very hot water, especially depending on where you live. But going by those moral standards, do we tolerate the evil, pull ourselves out of the world, or do we muster our strength to risk our life and limb and make sure that everybody tries to live a better life on this earth while we're here?
Yeah, like everybody always says, like do unto others, right? That's one. And biblically, it's like, treat yourself as you'd want your neighbor to treat you. But the way I want my neighbor to treat me is to tell me the truth, the flat out truth. If they think I'm going astray biblically, they should tell me. If they think that I'm wrong with it, then we should have a discussion over it. And that's how it's supposed to work. Iron sharpens iron, scripture against scripture, data against data, statistic against statistic is the way the flat out truth works. And it works like that in biblical terms too. And every truth that we've spoken about all goes back to the Bible. There's just no way around it. History is repeated, and it's repeated because it all comes from the Bible. So that's where we learn to do all this stuff. So either they copied the Bible and then emulated it, or we are just repeating what's been in history. And we tend to do that even in modern times, right? If you don't know your history, you just keep repeating it. So that's where we got to make sure that we have to seek the truth in all things, regardless if you like it or not. Have an open mind. Look at the data, look at the statistics, look at society. Is it working for us? Is it working for the world? I mean, that's how it should really be tested. How are things and how are people living and how do they treat each other here, right, in reality? Not behind a screen, not on the local news or the world news or on the internet, but like in reality, when you're at the store, when you're at the ball game, when your kids are at school. These are all the times where you see it in reality. And some people, like, the bubble's large. If you live in a small community or a rural area, you might not get the same picture as somebody that lives in like Chicago or New York. But if you live in like Southern Illinois, some people out there, they don't get the same reaction or treat each other the same as they do in Chicago, Illinois. Big difference, different mindset, different crowd, but they are still affected on each other regardless. That's the thing. Whatever happens in Chicago trickles down and vice versa. There's no way getting over it. We're all connected at some point. It's like the butterfly effect, right?
Yeah.
Or a ripple.
That's accurate.
Just goes out. So you can't just run away from it. And as the world is connected more and more, and the cities are connected more and more, and the states, it's even more, I guess, of a chain, right? And then you had that chain reaction. So you can't just put your head in the sand anymore. We all live in reality of this world. We all have to deal with it. And we'll all suffer for it or be blessed by it. So.
Yeah, actually, because that's one of, I mean, I hope all you guys make sure to come in and join us at theflatouttruth.com. Check out his origin story, and you can see it's like, I have been blessed with a great life, but not everybody gets that. But even with the struggles, you can turn everything into an opportunity, and it's just changing your mindset into that. Again, easier said than done, right? But it's absolutely possible, and once you can harness that, the skies are limitless, and you can make the best of your life, who you are. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah,
But
go ahead. Yeah, and it's not comparable, right?
Right.
When somebody says, "Oh, you think you know everything, or you think you're better than me," and I am in their mind, right? Because they're comparing, not me, because I only tried to be the best Paulino that I can be, and they should be doing to be the best that they can be. It's not a competition that way, and I just never understood that thought process.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then just to kind of close it up is like, no matter what you choose, whatever cost you choose, but the result is the same. Because the truth is as elating, right, as it is painful. But there's always a sense of freedom and contentment to knowing the truth. And it's also a humbling loneliness. We, both you and I, do intend to fight for truth, spreading seed as far as wise we can. That's why we're doing this.
Correct.
But it is up to each individual to nurture it. So we can spread the seeds, but it is up to each of you to nurture it, to go and do your due diligence, to go and do your research. But it has already cost us, as all the reasons mentioned here, as I'm sure other people have felt. But to choose to follow and continue his purpose. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you willing to give up to know the flat out truth?
Yeah, we walk alone, really. I mean that's just how it's been, and how it's the more truth, the more separated you are. And this is my calling to do this for you guys. Even if you guys frustrate me, at times.
What, people frustrating?
Sometimes. It doesn't mean I don't care about them, and that's why it's so frustrating, right? I just want everybody to seek truth, and so then we can try to fix things, at least get them back on track, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all I can do, I can motivate. Like, I'm still learning how to do this whole platform and talk and not worry about what I got to say and things like this. And I can draw a crowd. I've been at comic book conventions where I've drawn a crowd. I can do that. I can pump people up. I can get them so motivated, and but I can merely just plant seeds of truth in whatever topic I'm showing them. Like our whole thing is what? To show them knowledge that they never knew they always wanted.
That is true.
So that's what I'm trying to do. But I can merely just plant the seed. But when I'm gone, it's up to you guys to keep that nourishment going. Yep. Keep funneling it. Keep digging. Even if you have to chat back to us, be like, hey, I just found this out. Did you know this? And maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe you're going to help me out. But I can't be there every second to keep you like, hey, did you keep searching it? Did you ever find that out? Can you do this? Can you do that? Did you look at this? Can you look at that? Now, we're going to kind of do that in our platform and on our lives and things like that. And we're going to be adding more lives. There's like so many things we want to add, and videos and clips and content. A lot of that will be in the flatouttruth.com platform.
Yep.
A lot of it will be shared on here, even if it's just little clips of it, on YouTube, TikTok, and we're going to be doing Rumble and obviously Facebook too.
Yep.
But they'll just be little clips. You're not going to get the whole entire thing unless you come to our platform. We have freedom there. We own it. We can do whatever we want in there. And I don't know. If you want to know more, come there. If you want to discuss, come there.
Yep.
So, like I said, we can merely plant seeds. It's up to you to keep the nourishment going. If you need to keep pumping up, if once a week happens, come on every Tuesday with us. Right?
That's right.
And we're getting ready to start doing interviews, so those will be going on Thursday nights.
Yes.
We're doing our first one on a Tuesday, and the rest will all be Thursdays.
Yes, that is the goal.
Yeah. So we'll be having our regular show Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and our interview shows will be coming on Hopefully they're going to start coming on every week. But when we get people, every Thursday, 8 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern. And we'll try to stream the first half hour just like we're doing right now.
That's right.
And then we'll shoot over to our platform.
Yep.
And that's just the best way to do it. It keeps us out of trouble, I guess.
Yes.
And it keeps you guys in the know of what's kind of going on with the Flat Out Truth, or
Yep.
what the topics are, or who our guest is. And then if you want it more, you just come on.
That's right.
That's the easiest
Sound
way
like a
to
yes
go.
man.
That's right. Hey, I have a friend named Conrad that he's Polish, has the best accent.
He does have an excellent accent.
And when we hang out all the time, I'd say, "Isn't that right, Conrad?" He goes, "And that's right."
But you
Right?
gotta do a Polish accent.
We had that Polish accent.
I can't do a
man.
Polish accent.
I'm trying to get him on the show, guys. I mean,
He would be very entertaining. He's a
Doesn't
good
even
devil's
matter.
advocate too.
Yes, yes.
Well,
He'd be
that's
good
it.
in for law because he is a lawyer.
That is true. Yeah, he would make a good lawyer
He'd be a
discussion.
good one. Yes. So when we get into the law topics and financial literacy, something like that, maybe I'll bring him on and see if I can squeeze him on off of playing volleyball. Enough time to come in and
He's
have
addicted.
a little discussion. He's very addictive. We should have never got him as good as he got.
I know.
You know what I mean? Because he
Made him
wasn't so
too-
good, and
we
then he
made
got
him too
better. And
good,
now
I
he's
know.
like, you guys are doing that thing. You want to play volleyball? And I don't have time yet. I do want to get back. Chelsey wants to get back.
Yep.
Chelsey actually played for, D1 for Michigan State University.
I'm kind of good.
Yeah, so she's all right. But I'm not too bad. But
Can't play right
I'm
now,
I like the sand. I'm a twos player. I love that sand.
Yeah.
So it looks
Give me
like
sand.
it's about time that we're probably going to be jumping off of all the other platforms except for the flatouttruth.com. So remember, this stream is still going live on our platform.
That is right. I went ahead and I sent messages or posted. I don't know what they're all different. There were one's comments, one posting. So reached out to all of our watchers on all of our platforms to come over to the Flat Out Truth to continue this. Super simple sign up, email, password. And then we can continue watching. Like he mentioned before, you'll notice this is live show 22. All of the rest of our full unedited are on our platform. And
Yes.
then we're working on editing some of the other ones. But it'll be about roughly half an hour for you guys.
Yeah, and actually we do an after show, and sometimes it
We do an
lasts
after
long.
show.
We've had two that went over 6 hours. So
Yeah. There's some fun
we
discussions.
have plenty. I think we put one 6-hour one up, right?
We did.
And that was a great one. But
And
we do
another
have other
couple
ones.
hour one.
Yeah, we don't know. We want to be putting those after hours up as much. It's a lot more editing and things like that. But if you guys want to come on, if enough people came on and said, "Hey, give us the after shows," we'd probably do it. But until then, you get what you get.
That's right.
All right. So are we ready to get out of here?
All right, I got to think about all my button pushes, but yeah. So, let me get ready.
All right, TikTok. Thanks for having us. This is satire and is what? For educational purposes only. Yeah, satire. Yeah, for entertainment purposes only as
Yep,
well.
entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, so we will see you guys. Bye TikTok, bye YouTube,
I have Facebook.
and see you Facebook. Come on over to flatouttruth.com, and we'll see you guys there.
Are we gonna do the outro?
Oh, yeah. So this is how we usually end it. I don't know how to end it on this like we do. But I usually say, because I believe this totally, I'm Paulino B. Michael.
I'm Chelsey B. Michael.
And as always, be safe.
Be blessed.
And that's the flat out truth.